I'm delighted to be here with Zulfi Alam. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Pleasure seeing you, sir.
Delighted. So a bunch of questions I want to pose. We don't, as was noted, we don't have a fire, unfortunately, so we're going to have to improvise. Keep it warm, I guess, is the general admonition. So I want to start with a little sort of meta perspective for our audience on patterns, right? And by that I mean you've been involved in a bunch of really interesting jobs at Microsoft over the past however many years. You can share whether you want to or not, but and the role has historically been developing successful products based on bleeding edge technologies, right? And the risk of giving away the backstory, Xbox, HoloLens, and now quantum. So just, I think, for the edification of our audience, a sense that this is at a meta level technology that's been evolving, that was bleeding edge. Back to Peter's Lord Kelvin quotes, is this ever going to happen? But you've been sort of in the real world at a Global 50 tech company leading, these kinds of efforts. So I want to share, could you just share a little bit of your background? Tell me about that process at Microsoft.
Well, thank you for the question, and thank you for the invite. I've been with the company for 25 years, close to, and it's been a fantastic journey. What I found myself was always accidentally working on programs that want to sort of come to life. So was on the original Xbox, and we were the first to design a multi-core CPU specifically for a gaming product, and it was something very new and very risky, and I was part of the adventure. And so that sort of led to a series of events. Ran Xbox accessories for a while, built Microsoft's watch. Most of you don't know about it. It was not a successful product. And you mentioned
less said about that, the better. Okay, well,
nobody was moving
along.
No, it was an interesting experience because, and that product was really close to my heart. But to get that product approved and sort of built up, I had to do push-ups and pull-ups in front of Satya to make sure my heart rate was high enough that it worked.
Really?
So I swear to God, true story. So anyway, always found myself at the cutting edge of technology where a product is trying to come to life. It's not really ready yet, but the Microsoft has decided that we're going to make it happen, and have had the opportunity of working on these. Worked on HoloLens, led the HoloLens hardware for a long, long time, and then as I was moving on from that, got the opportunity to work on quantum, and there the mission was. It's about 5 years ago. The mission was, hey, this thing is ready to graduate from research, and we need to build a product out of it. So go make it happen.
Yeah. And worth noting, Microsoft's been involved in quantum for a long time, right?
It's the longest running research program in the company, 17 years.
So that's remarkable.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So let's talk about, it takes a village, right? So Microsoft's business model enables you to partner and build platforms that broadly support a robust quantum ecosystem. So can you tell our audience more about that approach? We've heard some of that this morning, but I think insight from Microsoft, who you partner with or who you're currently engaged with. And I know you have a wide range of interactions, right?
No, it's sort of an interesting thing. Organizations have DNA also. And the DNA of Microsoft as a company is to be a platform company. It needs to partner with the ecosystem. So while we have a very, very intensive first-party effort, we are committed to our third parties. So we have very deep relationships with Photonic. We have deep relationship with Atom Computing, with Continuum. So all the startups that we think have longevity and have the ability to sort of scale, we are working with them, and we'll work with others. There are other discussions going on in the background, but the whole mission is to work with everybody because there's a fundamental belief that all boats rise together. So the more we can partner, the more likely we are to be collectively successful. And finding the right partnership is sort of what we do.
Yeah.
So it's a thing.
So let's talk about use cases, right? That's always we are here at Commercializing Quantum Qubits to Profits, right? So there's been some discussion around, when ROI will be developed. And I want to get your take again, sort of, in terms of use cases, are there implications for which verticals maybe, or, organizations even might see the
fantastic
benefits sooner than later, or how will that and everyone has an opinion, right? Perspectives. I think we some continuity around, but I want to hear from your. What does Microsoft see from where you sit?
It's a fantastic question because things evolve and things have been evolving. I think what we have netted out to a point where the signature application for quantum computing is going to be in materials and chemistry. And the reason for that is sort of straightforward, is it is very hard to compute all the electronic interactions between various electrons. Every electron sees the van der Waals forces of every other electron in the universe. So just being able to simulate that the right way is super hard. So we find that is a signature use case. Now, that does not mean finance or other areas will not be quantum will not be able to add there. It certainly means that the starting point, the easiest use case, the signature application is going to be in the chemistry domain. That's what our current snapshot is. And we have invested a lot in the application space over the last few years, specifically targeting this area. Delighted to report, I don't know if you all have seen, we are not by any means battery people or chemists, but we were able to invent a brand new electrolyte for a dual ion battery, and we are in the midst of it's a molecule that didn't exist, and we are in the midst of productizing it. And the cycle of productization is the item that takes longer than the actual discovery upstream. So it's been a fantastic journey in the chemistry piece.
So, is there other companies, not to press you further, I mean, anonymize or white label partnerships to protect client confidentiality, but
in terms of who'll use the product?
Yeah. Where do you think it'll?
We are not ready to share yet. We are obviously in active discussions with many of the top folks who use batteries, but it was more of a proof point that there is an inflection point that's coming, and it's either going to be with the companies that decide to move on that inflection point or without. Again, we are not chemists. And if we in Microsoft can come up with a battery type that is so unique, dual ion, solid state, that essentially is a fantastic discovery, others who are experts will obviously be able to do a lot more in that space. I mean, just pressing an example, we have needs for immersion coolants. We have these massive data centers, as you all know. And so we decided to try a platform on finding out a new PFAS-free, non-PFAS coolant. And we will give more details shortly, but looks like we made fantastic progress on that product also.
Wow.
So it's just interesting that when you unleash these quantum algorithms on problems, and just to be clear, these machines are all hybrid machines. Most of the compute is taking place classically. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic proof point of where the world is going to. And computational chemistry, computational material science is going to be an area that's going to see dramatic change in the next few years. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be there for our customers.
Fantastic. No, thank you for sharing that. So I want to turn to the Majorana 1, right? Named after an Italian mathematician, by the way. For those of you who don't know, I just discovered this recently, who disappeared. No one knows really what happened to him. He walked off a boat, I think. Anyway, you recently announced, that has nothing to do with this question, but you've developed a new material called a topoconductor, which allows for the creation and control of Majorana particles, which, when arranged in specific patterns, form highly stable topological qubits. So how might this approach, tell us a little bit about that, but also how might it accelerate the path to scalable error-corrected quantum computers?
Yeah, no, so it's a fantastic, so as I said, the first party project within Microsoft on quantum is a 17-year journey. And the project was based on Majorana research. And for the longest time period, we were not able to build the appropriate semiconductor, the appropriate material choices to bring this product to life. And delighted to report, and that's why we were so excited, and Satya got on stage and was enamored, is we were able to come up with the right fabrication recipes to build this new type of material that enables these Majoranas to exist and be controlled. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And the reason it's a big deal is we can leverage the research of the last 50 odd years in semiconductors. The notion of the quantum bell, we can do in this new material, but on top of that, you can use all the classic techniques that have already been built, the packaging techniques, the wiring techniques, essentially to build a product. And most importantly, this device operates on digital controls. Every other qubit type, and we work with all the qubits, and this is more of a statement of fact. Every other qubit type requires an analog signal directly to that qubit. Mynana qubits operate digitally. So everything is a 0 or a 1. You can open gates, close gates, connect Mynanas, not connect Mynanas. So it's a highly scalable system. We have been selected. We're one of 2 companies that have been selected by the United States government to essentially take this technology tree forward. So we're super excited about it.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah. I saw 2 scientists talk about it, Nathan Baker, I think, and they're describing how he has 8 qubits currently, but
that is right. We only have 8 qubits.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
But I mean,
but stay tuned. We will be announcing. We are on the journey, and we are going to scale this thing up. We have publicly declared that in 2028 we'll have a fault-tolerant prototype. So it should be a big deal.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's very exciting.
Thank you for that.
Let's talk about your Quantum Ready program, right? It's designed to help companies prepare for a quantum-enabled future. I would ask you, please tell our audience more about these programs and how they enable organizations to take advantage of this amazing technology.
Yeah, so since our DNA, I think my personal DNA is in gaming, I'd like to share with you, a AAA gaming title takes about 3 years and hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. So this is for a known platform. So as you start thinking about quantum and the fact that it is so new on how to program to these machines, we need to start soon. Companies need to start soon to figure out how to program these machines and how to write the right algorithms. It's going to take time. And so what we found is industries are still sort of thinking about life and figuring it out. And we would like our enterprise partners to move forward quickly with us and essentially go through the scaling cycle that we need to bring these quantum machines. Once the hardware is available, you don't want to start writing software on the hardware once it's available. You need to start writing code now, because both of these things have to happen in parallel.
So maybe just a little more detail about the portfolio, though. So coming from Microsoft, Quantum Ready. So are there certain areas where you focus initially, or where companies should focus initially, where clients should be talking to you about?
No, I'm not going to say, hey, we are exclusionary.
No. What the portfolio consists of, right? Some of the.
So I think any computational problem that is low data, high compute is a problem area that we should be moving in on faster. So material science for sure. In pharma, there are new types of drugs that can be designed with metals inside them. So that would be an area. So there are these key industries that we want to work with. But generally speaking, high compute, low data problems are the problems that the machine is ideally suited for.
Great. So we have like a minute, but there's a question I want to pose. I think it'd be interesting to get your response to. Someone's saying, what would you define as a quantum manifesto in the industry that will see us through the next decades of innovation? What would that consist of?
I think the industry has to change a little bit sooner than later. We need to find ways to work together differently, because right now, because of hyper-nationalism, I think things are changing dramatically, which is everybody's sort of focused more inward. And quantum will require the best minds to all kind of work together. So we at Microsoft are big believers in the collective power of humanity. So if there was a manifesto, so like let's put this is just going to be like the program that sent astronauts to the moon. This is as big. So we'll have to figure out how to do this together.
Great. Well, Zulfi, thank you very much. We've come to the end of our fireside chat. How about a hand for Zulfi Alam?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.